there's lots of what I would call key quotes or some fundamental philosophies that I believe when you embrace these with your team, guarantee you're going to have a huge impact and a huge level of momentum. And, I want to make sure, guys, that you understand Rome wasn't built in a day. And then, the painting of the harbour bridge, it's sort of like once they finish painting the bridge, they start again. So, once we've looked at, say, our high impact touch points, such as open homes or private showings or key collection or listing appointments or auction day or post-auction strategy, once you've looked at all those high impact touch points, it's important that once we've done that this year, next year we plan to go back and revisit those. So this is an ongoing process, I believe, in looking at how we tweak. So that constant never-ending improvement becomes part of the DNA of how we operate as a team. So style truly recognizes whether I get a text from you, an email from you, I meet with one person or another person. Everyone seems to be in the same style. You're in the same family, the same genre of music. Not one person is, I'll just jump out this minute. It's not like, one person's playing rock and roll, one person's playing Enya, someone else is into pop, and then there's country western playing. So you've got this frequency going on, like bang, 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 super, super clashy. And problem is that can have an impact internally in terms of communication and a big impact externally from a communication point as well. So that's what we're actually up to and what we're wanting to achieve today. This is big, guys. You get this sorted, all of a sudden you've got this huge flow. By the way, recruitment becomes easier because people go, something magical is happening over there. I like what I'm seeing here. How about I get involved in for you? Can I put my hand up and come to you? Although we will talk about that today with recruiting. The more successful you become, interesting enough, the more unapproachable you are for agents wanting to actually come in and see and how we go. You can either be a team of champions. On paper, you look amazing. There's no way you can lose the game. Or you're a championship winning team. Now, I want to have both of those ingredients in your particular team. You individually, you're fantastic. But it's importantly how we play the game. If we've got someone dropping the ball on communication with buyers, if we've got someone dropping the ball on feedback to an owner after an open home or writing the reports or doing the final proof on an ad going through, let me tell you, that will have a massive impact on how that one little moment of truth operates as to how that your entire team is perceived. So what is your team style? And we're going to do a couple of fun exercises today and give you a framework to be able to identify that. To help us with this, guys, I want to just put a couple of layers into the conversation. The first layer, and I covered this at an ARIC a few years ago, and I was speaking on day 2 of this particular ARIC, and day 1, everyone was getting up there and say, I'm a legend and here's how much I'm writing and, I'm just achieving this and here's my new car and here's this and da, 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 da. And it was very, very self-focused. And I went, oh, wow, this is super interesting. And I want you guys to do well. So please don't assume this conversation is I don't want you to do well. But for me, and the big conversation I had at that particular ARIC, and some of you might have been there and heard me talk about it, make a difference in front of you. So bring a service-first culture to what you're doing. So we want to make a difference. And by the way, the more you make a difference in this business, the more you will make $1. The only time that won't happen is if you don't have your model structured correctly. In other words, it's costing you too much to make a difference, so therefore the dollars don't actually drop through the bottom line. Assuming that's in place, the more you make a difference, the more you'll make $1. So do you have make $1 in front of you, or do you have make a difference in front of you? I'm suggesting when you're working with a buyer, you're working with a seller, you're having a chat with your existing clients, if you're focused on making a difference. And by the way, that could even be you're chatting with a client who's thinking about selling and you go like, hang on a tick, you told me how much you love this street, love the area, you love your neighbours, and all you want is an extra bedroom. Why don't we look at doing a reno? Why don't I get one of my draft colleagues to get in contact with you and just see whether or not it's possible to do that. Yes, it would be inconvenient. You might need to move out for a couple of months, but it means you can do that. Now, there are certain agents that would never have that conversation. No, I want to talk about selling. I just want to talk about selling. No. If you're truly interested in the other person and you give them that option, and probably they might turn around and say, you know what, we thought about that, but no, actually, that's a really good idea. Why don't we look down that track? Or we thought about it. No, I think it's actually better that we sell this and we buy something else. Okay, I really respect your decision. But they're going to respect you more because you're focused on helping them make a difference and guarantee you'll make $1. Now, you may not get that sale, may not get that listing. No one will, by the way. It won't just be you. No one will actually get it. But what you've done in that particular moment, you've established yourself, you position yourself as a truly high integrity and interested in helping them achieve their goals. Make a difference, make $1. So this means if someone's taking a call from a buyer, how can I make a difference on this call? This really is about how do we make a difference in that moment of truth so the client truly is understand it. I would like you to have that in consideration in terms of, is this part of it the style that we want to have? And I'm not saying what your style needs to be. What I am saying, though, if you've actually got make a difference there, I guarantee you will make more than $1 in that process, which means that your love of what you do, your love of helping people, your love of ability for them to achieve their goals becomes something of a priority for you. And if you're not doing it at a listing appointment, I'd love you talking about, here's why I'm in real estate and here's why I built this team. Here's why this team exists, to be able to deliver a better level of service to you, to deliver better results for you, to deliver better buyer selection to you, to be able to drive up into that premium price. Now, one of my favorite sayings is culture is caught, not taught. So you can have everything in writing. Here's what we say our culture is, bidding. But in actual fact, if I was in your team for 3 months, I would catch the culture in your team. So this can't just be a beautiful set of notes sitting somewhere on a wall. This has to actually be a set of operating guidelines. How are we going to actually play the game together? The next thing on from here, guys, and this is out of the Good to Great books by Jim Collins, and this is, we've got to have the right people sitting in the right seats, in the right bus, heading in the right direction. So all of a sudden, we've got this alignment occurring with our style, right people, right seats, right bus, right direction. And sometimes I've seen situations where you take a plant from one part of the garden, you transplant it and put it in another part. It wasn't flourishing here, but all of a sudden in this new location, it's flourishing.